These are the countries that have won the World Cup ever since it started. Don't forget, the World Cup started in 1930 and the host was Uruguay. But do you know what? Uruguay won the first World Cup in 1930. From 1930 we went to 1934. 1934 was won by Italy. From 1934 we went to 1938. 1938 World Cup was won by Italy to make Italy become the first nation ever to defend the World Cup in the World Cup history. Now from 1938 we had to go to 1942. But guess what? There was no World Cup because there was World War. So it didn't play. From 1942 we had to go to 1946. But you know what? There was still World War, Second World War. So there was no World Cup in 1946. So World Cup resumed in 1950. So in 1950 the World Cup was won by Uruguay again. From 1950 we went to 1954. 1954 the World Cup was won by West Germany. From 1954 the next World Cup was 1958. This one was won by Brazil to make Brazil win its first World Cup ever by Pelé, becoming the youngest player ever to win the World Cup. At 17 years and 249 days, Pelé had won the World Cup 1958. From 1958, the next World Cup was 1962. It was won by Brazil again, becoming the second team ever to defend the World Cup. From 1962, we went to 1966, which was won by England. Yeah, it was the host and it's the one who won that World Cup in Wembley, defeating Germany by 4-2 after extra time. So England won the 1966 World Cup. From 1966, we went to 1970. 1970 World Cup was won by Brazil in Mexico. I beg your pardon. Yeah, it was won by Brazil. 1970 World Cup. From 1970, we went to 1974. Remember, there is always an interval of 4 years. 4 years. After every 4 years, the World Cup plays after 4 years. So in 1974, World Cup was won by Argentina. Then the next World Cup was 1978 and it was won by Germany. Yeah, it was won by West Germany in 1978. From 1978, we went to Hispania 82. That is World Cup 1982, which was won by Italy, getting its third World Cup in the football history. That is 1982, Italy. From 1982, we went to 1986, and this was the introduction of the greatest player called Diego Armando Maradona, where Argentina won its World Cup 1986, becoming the second World Cup ever it has ever won. From 1986, we went to Italia 90, which was hosted in Italy. The final was played in Sampdoria, and it's West Germany who won the Italia 90 World Cup. From 1990 World Cup, we went to US 1994. The host was America. When you hear US 1994, it doesn't mean that US is the one who won, but US was the host. Just as you can hear Hispania 82, it means it was hosted in Spain. When you hear Italia 90, it means it was hosted in Italy. France 98, you just know it was hosted in France. So US 1994 was won by Brazil after defeating Italy in penalty shootouts. If you remember, Roberto Baggio, who missed out a penalty, his first miss of a penalty ever in his career in the US 1994 World Cup, which was won by Brazil. From 1994 we went to 1998 rather, sorry. 1998 World Cup was won by France, and it was its first World Cup ever. So France won in 1998 and it was the host, because remember, it was called France 1998. From 1998 we went to 2002 World Cup, which was hosted by two nations, and it was hosted in Asia. It was hosted in Korea, Japan. Yeah, Korea, Japan, whereby Brazil claimed its 50th World Cup in the football history. That is 2002 World Cup. If you remember, Brazil defeated Germany in the finals 2-0. So 2002 World Cup was won by Brazil. From there, I went to 2006 World Cup, which was hosted in Germany, and the final was played in Berlin. It was won by Italy after defeating France in penalty shootouts. 5 goals to 4. If you remember, there was a lot of drama in that World Cup. If you remember, Marco Materazzi insulting Zinedine Zidane. Zidane was pissed off and headed him. He was sent off from the pitch, so France didn't make it after Trezeguet being denied by the crossbar his penalty, and Italy won the 2006 World Cup. From 2006 we went to 2010. This one was won by Spain. Yeah, it was the first World Cup ever to be hosted in Africa. It was hosted in South Africa in respect of the late Nelson Mandela Madiba. So it was won by Spain after defeating Netherlands in the finals to become the first World Cup ever to be won by Spain, and it's the only World Cup Spain has. From 2010 we went to 2014. It was hosted in Brazil. You remember, it was won by Germany after defeating Argentina by 1-0, thanks to Mario Götze's goal, which gave them the lead, and eventually they took the title. If you remember, there was a lot of drama in the semi-finals when Brazil smashed, when Germany smashed Brazil 7 goals in Maracanã Estadio de Janeiro. If you remember that World Cup. So 2014 World Cup was won by Germany. From 2014 we went to 2018, which was hosted in Russia, and this World Cup was won by France after defeating Croatia in the finals. From 2018 we went to 2022 World Cup, which has been the last one played. It was hosted in Qatar. It was won by Argentina after defeating France in penalties, thanks to Kylian Mbappe for putting a very great fight in the finals, whereby he forced the game into extra time and later on to penalties, shootouts, and this is when the game was decided after France being defeated in the penalty shootouts. Stay with me, Kawaka Babadi. I'll be updating you every day.